I was dragging my suitcase up my porch steps, jet-lagged from a month-long work trip, when my key refused to fit the lock, the door gleaming with a shiny new handle that didn't belong. I tried the back gate, the garage code, nothing worked, and my golden retriever, Rusty, wasn't barking his usual welcome, a silence that hit harder than the locked door. That's when I realized this wasn't a mix-up. Someone had hijacked my house, and her name was Marjorie Kane, the HOA dictator who thought my home was her castle. Until I brought a bulldozer to her doorstep. My name's Nate Sullivan, 39, a software engineer living in Willow Grove, a cookie-cutter suburb outside Boise, Idaho. I bought my house 7 years ago. Poured my heart into every brick, every tile, even the quirky cactus planter my nephew decorated. It's where Rusty chases squirrels, where I grill steaks on Sundays, where I built a life I love. My neighbor, Cal, a retired mechanic with a knack for gossip, always has my back. My lawyer, Tara Reed, is a legal pit bull who doesn't flinch. And my cousin, Ellie, a county clerk, knows every loophole in the book. Willow Grove's the kind of place where lawns are measured with rulers and the HOA's word is law. But I never imagined they'd go this far, until Marjorie made it personal. I'd been in Japan for work, coding for a client, when this all went down. I got back exhausted, expecting to crash on my couch, only to find my key useless. I circled the house, heart pounding, noticing Rusty's absence, no paw prints, no chewed tennis ball by the door. I called Cal, voice tight. Man, what's going on? I can't get in, and Rusty's gone. He sighed, heavy. Come over, Nate. You need to see this. At his place, he showed me security footage from a week ago. Marjorie, in her signature green HOA blazer, marching up with a locksmith, swapping my locks like she owned the place. She waved at the camera, smug, while her assistant trailed behind, looking nervous. Cal shook his head. She said you abandoned the house, cited some HOA rule about vacancy. Claimed she sent notices. I was floored. Abandoned? I was gone a month. Then Cal dropped the bomb. She's living there, Nate. Yoga classes in your den, some kids skating in your hall. And I think she gave Rusty away. My blood boiled, but I held it together, barely. I banged on my door. And Marjorie cracked it open, chain lock taut, her smile pure venom. Nate, what a shock, she purred. We thought you'd left for good. I didn't mince words. You changed my locks, moved in, and got rid of my dog. She'd sked, like I was a kid who'd spilled juice. The house was neglected, violating Section 4.1, absentee ownership. I secured it for the community. I jabbed a finger at the door. I own this place. There's no rule letting you steal it. She smirked. Notices were sent. You didn't respond. I snapped. I was in Japan. How do you even know I was gone? Her eyes flickered, but she shut the door, leaving me fuming on my own porch. I called the cops, expecting swift justice, but they shrugged. Civil matter, one said. Take it to court. Marjorie had papers, fake HOA stamps, vague bylaws, making it look legit. I checked into a motel, my suitcases mocking me in the corner, and fired up my laptop. Last year, I'd installed cloud cameras after a porch pirate scare, and the footage was a gut punch. Marjorie led yoga in my living room. Her nephew trashed my hallway with a skateboard, knocking over my mom's vase. Worst, my vinyl collection, Springsteen, Dylan, was listed online by HOA_ruler. I tracked Rusty to a shelter. Safe thanks to his microchip, but the rage kept building. Then I checked my smart meter. Power usage had tripled, despite my house being empty. Something was very wrong. Cal filled me in. Marjorie had built an HOA security hub near the clubhouse, a glorified shed with cameras and lights, powered by my electricity. She'd rerouted my home's feed to her setup, no permit, no meter. Just a buried cable siphoning my bill. It wasn't just about locks. She was stealing my power, my home, my life, all under the guise of community safety. I realized this wasn't random. My dad, a contractor, had exposed Marjorie's cousin for shoddy building scams a decade ago, costing him millions. She didn't just want control, she wanted revenge, and my house was her trophy. But if she thought I'd roll over, she was about to meet a man with a plan and a bulldozer. I didn't rush in. I needed proof, not just anger. I hired Tara, who dove into the case like it was her Super Bowl. This is a legal seizure, she said, eyes gleaming. We'll get an injunction. But that power theft? That's a felony if we prove it. I filed a city complaint about the hub, citing zoning violations. Ellie pulled records. No permits, no approvals, just Marjorie's word. I watched more footage. Marjorie pouring wine for a realtor. Showing off my kitchen like a model home. Listing it as an HOA showcase on the neighborhood's Facebook group. My stomach churned. She was trying to erase me. The next blow came when I spotted a new fence around my property, 8 feet tall, white, with a keypad gate, like a prison wall. Marjorie called it a community cohesion barrier. Built without a permit, blocking my own yard. I confronted her at the HOA office, a tacky shed dressed up like a bank. She sat at a desk, sipping coffee under a portrait of herself. "You're stealing my power for your hub," I said, slapping down meter locks. "This ends now." She didn't flinch. "You're disruptive, Nate. Keep this up, and we'll revoke your residency." I laughed. Bitter. "Revoke me? You locked me out." She leaned in, voice icy. "You were gone. I saved your house from neglect." I stormed out, noticing a cable running from her office to my utility box hardwired. No meter, pure theft. Tara got us an emergency court date, but I wasn't waiting. I called Reggie Bulldog Tate, a buddy who ran a demolition crew. I'd helped him rebuild a community center years ago, and he owed me. Marjorie built a fence on my land, no permit, and wired her office to my power, I said. Reggie laughed. "You want a bulldozer, don't you?" I grinned. "Caterpillar, big as you got." He was in. Ellie confirmed the fence violated city code, and the city inspector, Walt, cited the illegal wiring, unshielded, a fire hazard. We had our green light. The night before, I barely slept, not from fear, but from a fire in my chest. My cameras caught Marjorie at 2 a.m., trying to cut the inspector's tag off my utility box. Sparking her hand and cursing. I sent the clip to the cops, who warned her off. She didn't care. She was untouchable, or so she thought. At 5 a.m., Reggie rolled up with a Caterpillar, its yellow bulk gleaming like justice. His son, Marcus, carried a thermos, grinning. Ready to make history. "Nate?" I climbed aboard, feeling the rumble in my bones. Neighbors gathered. Cow with coffee, kids with phones. Marjorie burst out in a bathrobe, hair in curlers, screaming, "This is vandalism." I held up the city order. "No permit, no fence. You stole my power. Built this illegally and locked me out. It's coming down." Her face twisted. "You'll pay." I revved the engine. "Send me the bill." The first crunch of wood was pure catharsis. Panels splintered. Solar lights shattered. The keypad gate buckled like tinfoil. Cal hooped. Neighbors clapped. A kid waved a Free Nate sign on a cereal box. Marjorie grabbed a megaphone, yelling about community assets, but I shouted, "Call the sheriff. He signed this." Reggie's backhoe tore out cemented posts, and we coiled her illegal cable into a tote for the city. Marjorie fled to her office, and by noon, my yard was free, debris piled like a fallen empire. Neighbors brought donuts, water, even helped clean up. For the first time, I felt home again, not just my house, but my place in this community. I thought that was the end, but then Cal found a fence post with "help" scratched into it, in handwriting he swore was Ellen's. Marjorie's assistant. Ellen had quit months ago, or so Marjorie said, but whispers told a darker story, Ellen crying, Marjorie's threats. I dug deeper, asking neighbors. One saw Ellen sobbing in her car. Another heard Marjorie scream about losing her house. Then, in my attic, I found a lockbox hidden behind ducts with a note. "Check this." She doesn't know. Inside was a USB, a financial binder, and photos Marjorie cashing checks to fake companies, sneaking into homes, forging signatures. Ellen hadn't quit. She'd gone rogue. Planting evidence to take Marjorie down. I sent it all to Tara, who nearly shouted, "This is fraud, coercion, theft, state-level charges." We filed with the district attorney. But Marjorie wasn't done. She showed up with a news crew, all smiles, offering to return my house if I'd make peace on camera. I didn't bite. "Say hi to your fans," I said. Playing a USB clip of her bullying Ellen. File what I say, or lose everything. The crew turned on her, cameras rolling as she fled, her empire crumbling live. Days later, she was arrested at a grocery store, mid-rant about avocados, charged with fraud, theft, and more. An audit revealed she'd siphoned $90,000 from HOA funds, gym equipment, her nephew's tuition, even a custom statue of herself. The HOA went under state control, residents got refunds, and I got my life back. Willow Grove changed. The new HOA, led by Ellen, was transparent, fair. We threw a block party, ribs, music, kids chasing Rusty. Kel toasted me. To Nate, the guy who bulldozed tyranny. Everyone laughed, but a kid pointed to the bushes. Who's that lady? It was Marjorie, in a cap and shades, watching. She bolted when teens chased her with water guns and a drone. I added a sign by my mailbox. Private property. Filmed, memed, Reddit ready. Peace returned. But last week, my power flicked off. Breaker tampered. No proof, but I know her style. Is she back? Or is it her nephew? Her allies? I'm watching. What would you do if someone stole your home? Your life? Comment below. Tell me where you're watching from. Marjorie's down, but her kind? They're out there, waiting for a lock to pick. Who's fighting them in your town? Share your story. This fence stays down.